Welcome back to the Delaware Way. We continue our conversation on the Transportation Fund, and we'll talk about some other issues with Representative Joe Miro, who is a Republican from the 22nd District in Delaware, representing Pike Creek and Hockessin. So we were just talking about the Transportation Fund. It's going to be, if the projected projects come to fruition, it's going to be about $700 million short.
Yes.
How do you make up that money?
Well, there are different ways that we can approach that. The first approach is not to take the money out of the Transportation Trust Fund to balance the budget. It has been, I guess, we'll call it a bad tradition to take about $40 million out of the Transportation Trust Fund and put it into the operating budget. If you were to leave that money in the Transportation Trust Fund, then you do not have as much of a gap. Certainly our roads are not in good shape, and something has to be done in addition to what I just said. There has been a lot of proposals out there. House Bill 140, for instance, was passed by the House of Representatives without a single representative Republican vote. It is in the Senate, and I'm not sure what's going to be the outcome of that legislation. But let's take, for instance, the gasoline tax. The governor has proposed a 10-cent increase in the gasoline tax. I think that's
Highly unpopular.
Very unpopular. And one of the arguments that we're hearing today is that gasoline has come down in price. Well, that's a temporary issue. Gasoline prices will rise again, and the public are going to have to pay a lot more money. So, in my view, an increase in the tax may be in something that we need to do, but not to the extent.
Increase in fees?
Increase in fees is some other situations that we can approach. I am not in favor, for instance, of the fee that would make you and I, if we purchase a car, to have to pay 4.25% on the transfer of that car, the title of that car. I think that would put a damper on the purchase of new or used cars. So I'm not sure that we need to do that. Some of the other fees have not been raised over the years, and perhaps that is more palatable to.
Talk about registration, things
registration
like that.
fees, driver's license, you know.
Would that be enough?
No, that would not be sufficient. But again, if you don't believe the Transportation Trust Fund and you do some increases in the fees, that's a step in the right direction. Right, let me say this to you. For every penny that we raise in the gasoline tax, it's about $5 million. So if you equate a 1 penny increase to $5 million. So if you raise it 5 cents, for instance, you have $25 million. It also gives the ability to the Department of Transportation to borrow against the funds that they're raising. So the $700 million is not for 1 year. It's a projected number over a period of years.
But if they keep taking money out, it's not really going to matter because you're just going to be pouring money into an empty bucket and then taking the same money out.
You got the point.
The legislature right now is taking a look at, it depends on which side you're on, an assisted suicide bill or a right to die bill. Whatever side you're on, if you're pro, it's right to die. If you're against it, it's assisted suicide. What camp are you in?
I am very much against the bill. I spoke against the bill when the bill came before the committee hearing. And I tell you why. I think that there is so much technology, there's so much research that is being done today that what we do not have today as a cure for some of the illness may be available tomorrow.
But that same technology, you would have to agree, would be able to tell you if you're going to die. And you might be able to get a better handle on the fact that you only have 6 months to live. If that's the case, if you're going to rest your argument on technology, that technology may also hurt your argument. And if the technology was such that you can say to somebody, you only have 6 months, what do you want to do? Well, shouldn't they have the right to not go through the pain?
But I think, well, we just had an open house yesterday for medical marijuana that helps with individuals that may suffer from some of the illness. So that did not exist before in the state of Delaware. But nevertheless, I think that it has been proven that in some cases, an individual has been given 6 months or a year to live, and they have lived 5, 6 years.
You know, we're talking about Valerie Harper.
So that's
a TV star who thought she was going to die.
The fact of the matter is that until your call to go somewhere else, there's hope. And I need to be consistent with my philosophy. I'm a co-sponsor of eliminating the death penalty because I think that living is more important than dying.
Representative Joe Miro, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for coming in again
Thank you.
from the 22nd District in Delaware. When we come back, our friends from the Brandywine Zoo pay a visit, and who knows what they're going to bring. We'll find out together when the Delaware Way continues.